And that's a black screen. That was a good start to things. There we go. All right, we are here playing Baldur's Gate 3. Sean, start snarking about Forgotten Realms D&D books. Go.
There's a lot of them. They're like nigh infinite, and I find it. So yeah, I was mentioning to Blake. I believe that Forgotten Realms is the largest shared universe of any fiction ever.
Which is insane.
There's so many books. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of shared. You know, like usually they're like IPs, but even classic thing like Sherlock Holmes. You know, that's a shared universe. The Conan books, the H.P. Lovecraft.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lovecraft even.
Yeah, Lovecraft even. You have to realize is that like there are hundreds of Forgotten Realms books. Like you glanced at the R.A. Salvatore stuff. He personally has written like 15, and people complain that most books in the in like that world are not nearly up to his level, and you're like, but there's so many he's written like 15. He'd do like 3 a year.
And it's funny because the one I'm reading, the Crystal Shard, I think it's called, is first. Like his intro is just like, hey, writing a book's sure fun. Thanks for all your patience, everybody. By the way, writing on a computer's super weird. I had to get my computer nerd buddy to help me out. It's really funny to read that intro.
Ah, that's wonderful. I'm so glad that still exists. So the Baldur's Gate, there was a novelization of the original books that I have never heard good things of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm a little bit curious. Do you know much about the plot of the original Baldur's Gate?
I know Baldur's Gate is a city.
I'll take that as a no.
And there's a guy named Ball.
Yeah, so Ball. Well, you're actually what they call Ball spawn. You're kind of a descendant of Ball.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of them, and there's this whole complicated thing with a bunch of the gods that got removed at one time, and essentially every time that they needed to explain how like the rules of D&D and like magic changed, what they did in Forgotten Realms, where they went, oh, well, the gods had a fight, and some of the gods who were involved with magic are out, and new ones are in, and this is how they do it. But it actually led to a few interesting stories. The issue became so like, you know, the issue came later on when it was kept on changing versions for like 2nd edition to 3rd edition to 4th edition to 5th edition. You're like, my God, in 20 years, because they're in like more or less real time, kind of like comics theoretically. In like 20 years, you guys replaced the gods like 5 times.
I mean, such is the life of a god, right?
But yeah, you're basically you're kind of this orphan growing up in this little place, Candlekeep, and with your best friend Imowen, and you learn that you have this thing going on, and you go out there, do some epic quests. Like,
okay,
there's a lot more to it, but like,
I'm sure.
But the main thing is you're a descendant of Baldur, and part of why I've wondered how there could be a Baldur's Gate 3 is like that plot ended.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine. So, I mean, yeah, to rewind a little bit, just to give a little context here. You are we'll say, D&D veteran, be it of the tabletop game or the, Baldur's Gate series on PC. Me, I aspire to play a tabletop game of D&D someday. I have more books than anyone of my experience level should.
Well, we had some fairly, I'm going to say, not exactly definite, but we had some pretty good plans on playing when I got to Albuquerque, and then no one gets to play things in person ever again. So here we are.
Yeah, when that day comes, let me see. I'm looking at my bookshelf here next to me. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have 10 D&D books. So that I've kind of accumulated. But anyway, but I have played some CRPGs over the years. Mainly, like, the ones I've really gotten into are the Dragon Age games, particularly Origins. I played through that multiple times, but their lineage goes all the way back to Baldur's Gate 2, the Neverwinter Nights series, and that sort of thing. But this is, Baldur's Gate 3 is being made by Larian Studios, a company that made the Divinity games, which I've also played a bit of, and I've been super excited for this. But you being a longtime veteran of Baldur's Gate and D&D, I really wanted to walk you through the early stages of what this game is like and get your input and maybe a little bit of guidance along the way. How does that sound?
I'm excited. Even this screen looks expensive.
Yes, a lot of this looks expensive, even in its unfinished state. So this is early access. This is not out. I mean, I paid to get it, but this game is not going to be fully available, probably not for another year. Right now, it's just kind of the first act, and that's about it. And it's
have they said how many acts it's going to be?
Not to my knowledge, but that doesn't mean that they haven't said it.
Gotcha.
So
I had seen that it's the first act, and that made me be like, of 3, of 4, of 2.
Yeah. Who knows? I mean, but Divinity is a huge game, and I expect this to be a pretty huge game too. And they're still adding stuff to Divinity 2, like randomly. So at any rate, so far I also like this a lot more than Divinity 2. Even though I really like Divinity 2, I feel like this is just has a much better setting. But anyway, let's hop into a new game.
Is it so far? Is it the setting, or like how does it feel versus Divinity? Ooh. All right, maybe we'll watch this first.
We can watch this first.
All right.
So you can get a little gross out eye body horror.
Yeah.
And hopefully not hear my glass clink over the microphone. All right.
So
it's a shame we don't get to go live on Twitch with this.
Yeah.
My stream title was snarky and fun. It was, I've seen Stranger Thing. That's not what a mind flayer looks like.
That's fair.
In reality, my first mind flayer was in Demon Souls.
Oh, for sure. Ringing the little bell as they walk around the prisons.
Yep. And they didn't try and hide their inspiration at all.
Nope. I remain long surprised that there weren't some kind of lawsuits about that. But I don't know.
I mean, I know Wizards of the Coast can be litigious, but
yeah,
when D&D stole so much of its fiction from Tolkien.
Yeah, from Tolkien, and then the other big one was Fritz Leiber.
Mm.
It's like kind of 70s, more adventure-y fantasy writer.
Okay. Eye bugs. Slug. Ugh. So mind flayers,
Who are you?
All right, who are we? Let's make a character.
All right.
So
So
origin stuff doesn't quite matter yet, but let's give ourselves a race. What do you think?
we could be an edgelord and go drow. We could
And then there's also sub races underneath, so you can be like a drow half elf.
Oh, okay, that's actually sweet. That is really cool that those are like built in from the beginning.
And they're going to add
Those are the
more,
type-
supposedly, so you can be a Lightfoot halfling, Strongheart halfling.
Oh, that is really cool. I gotta say, those are the type of thing that I would expect to not see in early access. Oh, so different types of tiefling?
Yep.
Okay.
See, this is why I wanted to do this.
Okay. Ooh, an Asmodeus one. That's pretty cool. He's sweet.
And then you can even be different types of drow.
Could I be like a half drow, half dwarf? Or are they like that type of miscegenation will not stand?
I don't think they go there. I don't think you cannot be a. That's for the romancing.
Okay.
I assume.
I am impressed by all the. What options are there for Githyanki?
All right, so you can be not much really, actually.
Okay.
Which you can't be. I know there's two. Well, sorry, Githyanki. I'm learning about that whole thing, but
Yeah.
you could be a lady or a man, Githyanki.
I got so many options.
Yeah.
So I know you've made some characters. Is there something you've been like?
I've been messing with my character I'm playing with is a full-on wood elf.
It is funny to me to have Drow not be an elf. Like it seems like it should say wood elf, high elf, Drow, because that's a type of elf.
Okay. I don't know.
They're like full-on elves. There's no
human.
No, they're just elves.
Oh, okay. I don't know then.
She's. Yeah, I don't know.
Should we make a tiefling?
All right, let's make a tiefling.
All right, Asmodeus,
So there's
Mephistopheles, or Zariel.
We're gonna go with Asmodeus.
All right, dude or lady?
I don't care.
Hellish resistance, dark vision. Dark vision's handy. I'm finding out.
Yeah.
Like
one of the things is that like, except for humans, basically everyone has dark vision.
Oh yeah, I've kind of noticed that at least a bit. All right, let's go, lady. We can pick her voice. They don't have so many voices yet. They have 4.
But no room. Hells. Something just woke up.
I mean, it doesn't actually voice any dialogue or anything. Like, do you ever hear the voice?
Just during like when you're walking through the world and they notice something, like some of the chirps.
I feel tired.
Yeah, exactly, that kind of stuff. All right, so we can zoom in. It's pretty darn detailed. Oh, she's got bird tattoos.
The bird tattoo is sweet.
Yeah. So we don't need to spend too much time on this, but
I like the bird tattoos a lot.
okay, we'll keep the bird tattoos. We'll go with head 2. Oh, we can pick our horn style. Twisty?
Which is the best for like... I want longer than that. I want something you could play ring toss on.
Those are pretty long.
Those are pretty long. Let's go to those twisty ones. Those are, no, we're not like an elk.
A ram.
Yeah. Actually liked the... No, we're not hornless.
Those are pretty epic.
I think those are pretty good. You could play some serious games of ring toss.
You gotta get some hook on that one.
Yeah. Get some spin.
All right, we got our red tones for skin color. Go real dark.
I think pretty dark looks good.
Like, go there.
Yeah.
Some eye color. We are currently some demonic yellow 1. We can try some demonic yellow 2. Or demonic green. It's got a little red iris in there. That's pretty sharp.
Does it just say demonic in front of every color?
No. But I do like the attention to detail on those ones. Like, no, these are the real demonic ones. My mother would be very upset with me.
Well, it's just her heritage. It's not her fault. She's got some devil in her.
Right? She might cast off her. So we can do some hair.
I mean...
There's a lot of hair, too.
Whoa.
We can do
some of those are sweet. That's cool. Those are cool.
Let's go with that.
I'm impressed by how unique the hair and that the options all look good.
All right, we're going to keep the face tag. Yeah, I mean, there's like a lot here, despite what the internet would tell you.
According to the internet, it should have crashed 3 to 6 times by now.
Correct. All right, I think that's good. We're going to go with that.
All right, we're looking good.
All right. Class.
All right. So, are there any classes you've been wanting to experiment with?
Nothing off the top of my head. I've been playing a ranger.
So, what are the full options? I see. Isn't that a bar where you can slide? I see those 6, but
Oh, so like here subclass? Or
no, go over there.
No,
Yeah,
that's so.
Oh, so it's just those 6 from the beginning.
Yeah, they're gonna add more supposedly, but these are the 6 right now.
Okay.
So, but then there's like sub stuff.
Those are
demonic
kind
cleric.
of built into fifth. They're kind of built into 5th edition.
Oh, okay.
Like you can't not have a sort of a domain.
Okay. Unless you're a fighter, then you're just a fighter.
Yeah, but like, essentially, you have to pick certain options for those.
Okay.
Look at Warlock.
Warlock. Subclass, the Fiend. The Great Old One.
It's interesting to me that, like, of the things, that was one that they built in so early. Must be really popular or something.
Maybe. Oh, I think it'd be a wizard in their dumb robe.
The robe does look dumb. Anything but a wizard.
Okay, anything but a wizard. I'd say a fighter or a warlock.
All right, we'll go with a fighter. We'll go to classic. It's usually, since eventually we'll have more people in the party, one of the things with the D&D games, I know I've mentioned this, is that to not overwhelm yourself, to make your base character pretty easy to play.
Yeah, that's true. You get a cleric and a wizard, or a wizard pretty early. So
when you get in your party 3 wizards, suddenly
things are rough.
Fast. Yeah.
All right. Proficiency. It auto gave us intimidation.
We're gonna want perception.
All right. What do we want to get rid of? Athletics, intimidation. What else do we want?
We might even keep athletics, but not intimidation.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's good. Perception is super useful. It just comes in all the time.
It's funny. My dang elf ranger has almost all those boxes checked for some weird reason. It's very strange.
Oh, ranger gets so it's going to be, you get a different number of skills based upon both your stats and your class.
Okay.
So fighters get not very many skills, and they tend to not have that high. So if you look over at your ability score there, you see how your highest is a strength. That doesn't give many skills.
Okay. Okay.
So if your highest was, say, wisdom or intelligence, you might have a bunch of them.
Okay. And then, these are, you can adjust those. That's nothing super new.
I mean, those are totally fine pre-built.
Mm-hmm.
And it uses point buy, so you always have 27. That's fine.
Okay.
One of the things for the old D&D games was just endlessly rolling again until you get a statistically anomalous good roll.
Great.
Like when you're saying I'm rolling my character, you literally meant I'm gonna roll 100 times until I got the slightly better thing.
Nice. Because now it's typically, if you want to roll a character, you roll
Point by it.
You roll X number of times, and then you just then apply those numbers, correct? If you're not doing it by point. Yeah.
Point buy has become a lot more common than
Okay.
I feel like it was like in the 90s when we never would have done that. It was all very much about like having a character whose stats are 6, 15, 7, 18, 4.
All right. What should her background be? She should be an entertainer.
She looks kind of entertaining. What else do we have?
Got a criminal. Got a charlatan. Got acolyte.
No. That sounds boring.
Urchin. Soldier.
Probably soldier.
Sailor. Sage.
I like how it doesn't matter much about your class or anything. We can just do weird stuff.
Mm-hmm. Outlander.
Outlander's probably pretty useful.
Yeah,
it gives us athletics and survival.
Sure. All right, and let's see. What haven't we done yet here? I feel like there's something we missed, but maybe not. Nope, I don't think so. Oh, name. What should we name?
We're not going with Tav.
No. My elf's name is appropriate to the elven people. I took it from the book, so.
Oh, yeah. Well, she's a tiefling, which means she's probably named by humans, which means she probably has a dumb name. Her name's Edna.
Done. All right. So eventually they're going to add origin stories.
That's cool.
Yeah. Although looking at the origin stories, it actually looks like you actually pick characters in the game, which is actually lines up with Divinity 2 now that I think about it. But Shadowheart and Gale are at least two characters.
Two of the people you've met.
Yeah. So, all right, that is everything. Okay, now for the weird part that I don't know how this is used, but
Tell me, who do you dream of at night?
who do you dream of at night?
Who do we want to sleep with?
I assume
Sure.
that's basically what they're going
That's
for here.
sure what that implies.
That really seems that. So obviously,
I guess we're gonna.
that dude who looks like Zeus but a dwarf.
That's Zeus, but shrunk.
Yes.
Someone squeezed Zeus down, and
I mean,
I guess that's who we're trying to screw.
good enough for me. I don't know.
I think that is like such a bad
It's weird. It's really weird.
custom make your own waifu.
Kind of. I don't know.
I don't even know. You say kind of. How is that not kind of?
Because I'm not sure where that even shows up.
Oh, they'll show up more than you want.
I mean, they could just murder them. That'd be fun.
Like, the whole thing is an heiress.
Yeah.
Like, who do you dream of? Now watch us crush them.
Mm-hmm. So, is the tentacle ship a thing that you're, like, that you know
Yeah,
of?
they do. They do have They do have these interplanar tentacle ships. So
Okay.
they It's interesting is they were kind of dropped by 4th edition. I don't think there's anything in 4th edition that ever mentions them. So it feels like they're putting them back. 4th edition I've heard described as what if you wanted to play WoW on a tabletop?
So, lots of
Wow.
tanking.
It is fully. These are the different types of party members. Like, I will be the tank. I will be the DPS. I will, to the point where it doesn't even really matter what class it is. It just matters what role you have.
Some Gith dragon action here. I mean, it opens with a bang, that's for sure.
Yeah. Someone's gonna summon the Krakens.
I want to know if I get to ride a dragon. I highly doubt it.
Everyone else is.
Right?
Ooh, he plucked the string.
That Icewind
I don't know.
Dale?
I just thought it was cool. Like, I like the idea that they're all just like plane hopping. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's not very Forgotten Realmsy at all, but I'm totally cool with that. Like, that was one thing from how all the different races and everything interact. I remember mentioning, like, that doesn't really make sense for Forgotten Realms, which is like, elves live in the elf city, humans live in the human city. You know, that's kind of for how that works.
Everyone is just hanging out in a giant melting pot.
No. Not. There's a couple places where that, but those are like anomalous places if we go to like Waterdeep.
And that's one thing, like reading the Crystal Shard when it gets to Drist, and they're just like, he's the only drow that ever left the underworld.
Yep.
Yeah.
And here it's like, my party is at 19 drow and they're just having a good time.
So we're in hell.
Well, if you can plane jump.
Oh.
I just have my undying hope that it'll use basically the like classical 3rd edition Planescape mythology and not like the slightly jankier 5th edition. But I'm sure it does.
I'm sure it does, but I don't know the differences there, so
That is okay.
I just know that my head hurts. Okay, so we are in control of our tiefling lady.
All right.
All right. So I'm just gonna kind of rush ahead, but if there's anything you
I
see,
know you've dealt with this stuff.
Yeah. Frame rate in this early build can be a little, like, it was much better days ago before they did some weird patching, so you know.
But that's how early access is.
Exactly.
It's like optimization is not step 1.
Am I in the hells?
You are in the hells. All right.
No, you're not.
All right, so we're going to start off by having a strange conversation.
That it says the early access version in the corner is
Yes, you've come to
Kinda
save
dumb.
us from this.
I imagine so. It's later when there's videos floating around the internet, they can be like, seriously,
Yeah.
because people hold a glitch against them for years.
Oh, I know.
They
Like,
return.
it's one of those things where it's like
They return.
it actively makes things worse, but they almost have to do it because the internet is stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I talking to? A man or a brain?
That one?
Yeah.
A newborn. Born new from this husk.
You know no creature like this. One that is more brain than person.
Nope, we failed a check there. I didn't notice what it was up in the corner.
Destroy the brain.
Destroy the brain? All right. It's pretty rough.
I was unclear what mouth that brain was talking out of, and I didn't like it.
That's fair. That is very fair. So we're just gonna go along our way. So there's a million keys to this that can do different things. If I hold... Oh, that guy has a name. That's funny.
Mirnath.
Mirnath.
Well, he had a name, now he's dead.
True. But unless you know any necromancers.
Who are willing to just bring back a brain? If so, I'm killing those necromancers.
So this is kind of impressive. Like,
Oh yeah.
there's been a lot going on here. Oh wow, I didn't realize that the dragons actually have hit points there. That's nuts. That's pretty cool,
If this were Dark Souls, you could kill them.
right? I mean, don't think I won't try. All right, so like fun thing here that's kind of different from like Divinity, at least in my experience with it. So like now we've come across this chasm opening jump point. You actually need to use a jump action to hop
That is
across.
cool.
Yeah.
If you fail, do you die and your play?
I don't think you can actually fail, so it's kind of a weird
Because I was
thing.
gonna say, do you want to go back and jump back and forth again and again until we find out? I take 20 to die from failing my jump check.
Right. I didn't see an actual check there, so probably not. But maybe later it actually does throw that at you. I wouldn't be surprised if it's just like, okay, now you actually do a check, but this was a tutorial, so no.
Abomination. This is your end.
Your head throbs and your skin tingles. Visions rush past. A dragon's wing, a silver sword, and a flash of your face seen through the strange woman's eyes.
My head. What is this?
It's interesting to me to have that sort of thing described when, like, the reason you'll see that in, like, Pillars of Eternity is they don't have the money to animate that. Here I kind of am like,
We might
you
survive.
clearly could just show that.
You will assist me in destroying it.
I think they're going for a little bit of the DM.
Before we transfer.
They are.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, I don't know, it's goofy when they could that makes sense when you can't do an option. Transform, what do you mean? Who are you? Is the helm our way out? That's all I care about.
Yeah.
Gain control of the
We can trust her for now, right?
Once in command.
Actually, she seems pretty trustworthy, even though Cleric wants nothing to do with her later, but you know.
Onward then.
Onward.
Sure.
We exterminate the
Clearly this place is on fire and about to crash, so...
We will address the matter of a cure.
You must leave
once
immediately.
we reach the
Do not do 16 subquests first.
Alright, so we got our party. She is also a fighter, but I think we'll be alright.
That's
Alright,
fine.
we enter combat.
And it's turn-based.
It's turn-based, so yeah, one big major change from Baldur's Gate 1 and 2.
And not a bad change.
Which, I mean, so describe that to me back in the day, like, you know...
Real time with pause.
Yeah, I mean, I've played real time with pause, but is there, like, what was the choice behind that versus going turn-based?
Oh, so the choice behind that was that it came from an RTS engine.
Oh, okay.
And so they retrofitted this real-time strategy engine to D&D and realized that they needed to have, like, D&D has turns, so it can't just be StarCraft.
Okay. Interesting.
So it was like a weird retrofitted thing, and the amazing thing has always been that it worked at all.
Right.
like.
And you tell me, so most of my experience with that type of gameplay is like Pillars of Eternity, where you could set it to auto pause when certain things happened.
You could do that all the way from the beginning.
Okay.
So I would always have it set to auto pause as soon as anyone in my party, for instance, saw an enemy. So then we'd auto pause and we could figure out what we wanted to do. But you could also you could play the game turn-based if you wanted to. You could have it auto pause after every single turn. You could have it auto pause after every round. It was very modular how you wanted to do it. It's just that like auto pausing. The unfortunate thing about that sort of system is that it's built for playing it through the game somewhat fast. So you either want to have totally pause based on a high difficulty, or you kind of want to go on a low difficulty and not think too much about it.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think it was a good system. It was like you just put up with it.
It's funny that it's a thing that people wanted to replicate later.
I mean, it was unique, and I think it was less that... I think that they wanted to replicate it not for good reasons. It's just, it really was a nostalgia, and nothing else was made like that. But even like Pillars of Eternity, you can now... They've made fully turn-based mode. Mm-hmm. You can go 100% play Pillars 2 as a turn-based game, and I know that the devs kind of were like, this is the better version of the game.
Do you have any input on what's happening here as far as like, so it's not on a grid, which I guess is one minor difference.
I'm very fine with that. It's not on a grid, but it uses the same thing, which is, I guess it's meters. I always think of them as feet, but it probably is always supposed to be meters. I
mean, the grid
actually,
is
no, it isn't, because like now that I think about it, it's all about 5-foot adjustments. So like, each thing is supposed to be 5 feet, so it's... I guess my weirdest thing is seeing that they're meters.
They're meters? Could be since they're a European studio.
Yeah, but I don't know how many meters are a D&D square. I do know how many feet
what I do.
are.
Oh, okay, so spacebar is and turn, I just discovered. Okay, good to know.
That is very good to know.
Yeah.
I like it not being on a grid. I mean, like, the old Baldur's Gate weren't either, but what is cool is the cursor telling us exactly how many feet we are away.
Yeah.
I like that. Like, it has all the advantages of being on a grid without forcing a video game to...
Well, and if you're playing without a tabletop grid, it was originally kind of just all distances anyway, right?
Weirdly, Yeah, kind of. Like, it came from this system called Chainmail, which is like a war game system, and it wasn't on a grid because it's just very modular. And then it got moved to a grid mostly because if you're designing a dungeon, that's how the easiest way to do it. Basically. Yeah, we look cool. I like our character.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you can start to see some stuff that looks a little unfinished here and there. Like, sometimes you'll hear sound effects that don't come in and stuff like that. But, I mean, I played, what was the Dungeon Siege 3? So that was the Dungeon Siege game made by Obsidian. And at launch, that game was missing entire sound effects.
Yeah, I mean, one of my questions, honestly, is like, do you think they're going to do a bunch more passes at these parts that are released in early access? Is there even much of a point?
I think they definitely will. I think for sure. I think this is basically their testing ground, and then they'll apply what they learn while they fix this to the rest of the game, is my impression.
I'm not saying that what I'm seeing makes me go, this doesn't need any touch-up, but what I'm seeing feels like as done as other games.
Yeah, I mean, there's some weird, like, I may run into it here, we'll see. Like, elevation stuff gets a little funky sometimes, but no, it's actually working here, so.
I played Dungeon Siege 3 for about 2-3 hours before quitting, and I already enjoyed this more.
I played through Dungeon Siege 3 twice, but that was because my wife and I played it co-op, and that was fun.
Yeah. No, it seemed good for that in the way, they're, oddly enough, did you ever play the the other Baldur's Gate series?
The hack and slash one, right?
Yeah, the hack and slash ones.
They're making another one, but no, I did not.
Those are basically Dungeon Siege.
Okay.
And they're fun as like co-op.
Okay.
They were like
the new one has one of the worst trailers I've ever seen.
It's a fitting lineage,
it's Drist, like, running around. So you've watched, like, extreme sports videos where they have the GoPro mounted, but it's pointing at their face. Yeah. But it's pointing at their face, so you see their facial expression.
I've gotta watch this.
And it's Drist running around murdering things with a GoPro mounted camera pointed at his face with really bad metal playing.
Does he ever say parkour, parkour?
I mean, he might as well, but he does not. All right, so looking at this, like, it shows you some stats that I personally don't fully understand yet. Like, it shows like that threatened stat up there underneath.
So that matters because whether or not if you're in D&D they call it a threatened square. Here it's not a square, but if you're close enough, that means that if you disengage, they get an attack of opportunity against you.
Okay.
Or, for instance, let's say you're in a threatened square and you're trying to cast a spell, they would get to do an attack of opportunity before you cast that spell.
Okay, good to know. And also it looks like here, actually, now that I look at the status effect, I have a disadvantage on ranged attacks because I'm so close. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes, because you're that close.
Yeah.
Which it's an interesting thing where I've been playing Starfinder, and that rule doesn't seem to exist, that you have a disadvantage to ranged if you're close.
Oh, okay.
But we can't figure out if we just can't find the rule or not. There've been like, I don't know how much time has been wasted discussing that over the last like few months.
That's funny. All right.
But yeah, disadvantage versus advantage is key, and knowing whether or not you're threatened basically tells you how much you can move. And so you can kind of like circle them if you're threatened. You can circle around.
You can get behind them for a backstab and stuff, but...
Yeah, exactly. You can circle around them, but you can't move away from them or they're going to get to attack you.
So one thing I'm doing here is I'm moving the camera manually a lot, but you can just like lock the camera on the character and do it this way, where it actually follows them. So that's maybe a little less disorienting.
Maybe it's so natural to me to have to move the camera manually. It like playing a bunch of computer RPGs, like the idea that it moves on its own is almost antithetical.
I mean, you can kind of do it like Diablo, where I'm just like, yay, you can do this kind of thing.
Touch nothing without knowing its purpose.
I will touch whatever I want, like this.
You! Get me out of this damn thing!
We have no time for stragglers.
Let her out.
I haven't been able to on my plays because I think you need.
Let's do the test.
All right.
Because you probably need Arcane as a skill. Could always get a natural 20, Blake.
Yeah, it looks like it's only a 7 check, so
There's always a chance.
there we go.
Warding runes. The pod won't open unless they're destroyed.
I mean, we know that now.
All right. The bright lines of magic, because those are probably the warding runes.
Ouch.
Well,
Are you
I didn't know it. I didn't really know what it meant.
Wait! That can't be. There has to be another way. Please!
It cannot be helped. Come.
All right. Well, that didn't go well.
I don't know what the warding runes are, except for that they're like.
I imagine maybe if you're using a different, I don't know.
A magic user?
Yeah.
You could see the runes? I don't know.
How many hosts of these gay infected?
So had we
That's a little
rescued,
brainling.
yeah, it's, Intellect Devourer, I think they're called.
Oh, okay.
If you successfully remove that brain from that body at the beginning, you get one of those that hangs out with you for a little while.
We're good without it.
All right, let's check out.
I don't trust a brain without a body. That one did not seem.
Could mean
I know it was a newborn.
So we failed a check
But-
there, so we couldn't read the sigil. And so that's kind of cool. I don't think she can.
Is there a way to for certain things what they say, like take 20, which is if there is ever a chance, you just stay there and keep doing it. And you couldn't do that in a dungeon because you're like rushed.
Mhm.
But like you take this thing back to your room in the hotel, and you're like, well, I'm just gonna spend tomorrow working on breaking this lock.
I mean, I don't know if there's an official way. There might be. I haven't come across anything quite like that. Of course, you can always save scum it, but that's not quite the spirit of what you're talking
no, that's not.
about. Should we push the strange button that we don't know what it does?
Definitely.
Okay.
I didn't even realize it was a button. If there is an actual mind flayer, you just run. They are way high level for our little level 1 with a big sword.
Yep.
It's nice that they left us with our weapon and everything.
Yeah, it's the RPG code.
There's a lot of RPGs, for instance, Baldur's Gate 2 begins with you captured and you need to go find your equipment.
Oh. Maybe they'll change that. I don't know. I doubt it. Mind Flayer.
Change Changed at the pull of a lever. How? If we are not purified, this may be our fate.
Parts of this feel very I'm trying to say not modern BioWare, but Dragon Age Origins era BioWare with their character stuff, which I mean is a compliment.
Yeah.
More so than Divinity did. All right, so we got a key to this chest over here.
I really like just the general I don't know what I kind of call it, the location. It is not super bland high fantasy,
Yeah, it gets there, but it's nice that it starts with hey, this is some crazy weird stuff.
I'm gonna say it can be disappointing to a lot of people to not have some of that,
Do as I say.
And I'm not saying that it's Forgotten Realms. If it doesn't have some Forgotten Realms very typical D&D, then that would be kind of a disservice, but it is bold to start in this much more interesting area.
So I wasn't really paying attention the first time I went through this. And I also didn't really understand. And I helped the tiefling fight the mind flayer here.
Do it.
Ah.
We'll deal with the gate
And so we killed the mind flayer, then the tiefling just turned on me and just murdered
immediately
me.
kills you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's
When
like,
really don't. Those are not tieflings. Would be part of what I want to tell you.
oh, okay.
Those are demons.
Those are just demons. Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're not tieflings. They're full on. The imps are a lesser demon.
Okay.
But when they got the full on wings and everything, yeah, like one of the things that this does that I actually kind of think is a little weird is it makes tieflings look more devilish than they tend to.
Okay.
Like historically,
my-
they would be like.
I was gonna say my book makes them look very devilish, like the player's handbook.
Yeah, they definitely in 5th edition they people thought that they were cool. Like they were not even an included race until then.
Okay.
They were like always a like a thing that you got later in expansions and stuff. But it was always be like a tiefling, slightly reddish skin, and that would be the way that you could tell them. They have
Okay.
slight horns. Otherwise, they look totally like a human.
Okay.
That would be a more like how tieflings were, and then with 5th edition, they're very much like, people just want to be a devil.
So, one thing here, Larian really loves their like environmental status effects. They don't hit it as hard here so far, but like the ground being on fire is pretty major to their engine and like ice. And like you commented one time when I was showing you a few things about this, about all the blood on the floor.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing it and being like, why is there this much blood? It is kind of insane.
Mm-hmm. And like that's because like they actually use it because you can like freeze it or it'll actually keep flames. Like it's always been kind of just a weird aspect of the way their stuff works.
I mean, I end up thinking about Breath of the Wild and their whole like elemental engine.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine that there's something similar going on in the background, how they think of it.
Yeah.
But we're both two
There we go.
fighters.
That was a crit.
Doesn't play that much into what we're doing.
No.
What can you do? I can stab him with my sword in the fire. No, it doesn't help much.
So this has like bonus actions and stuff similar. I mean, what are in the rulebook? So you can actually
that's cool.
So you can shove things. Like I was able in a combat encounter later in the game, was able to slice an enemy and then push them off the edge of a cliff.
That is actually really, really cool.
It was
that is one of the cooler things I see. Can I see what all those options are?
Yeah.
I know you can't do them, but I'm just curious.
Yeah, so you've got jump, disengage. You've got dip.
Oh, that's interesting.
You got shove, and then you can also hide.
Hide. What are the bottom things there?
Okay, throw. So you can throw anything in the
excellent.
game. So if I have a dagger, I can just like throw it at an enemy.
Nice.
Dash,
Oh, cool.
which is a full action.
That is, I'm gonna say, at least in normal D&D, an action you'll use a lot.
That's
Like
cool.
all of these are actual things that come in a lot. No, so you can do non-lethal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
And then
that's
help. So if someone falls, I can help them up.
so you can assist.
There's one encounter where there's a wizard that likes to keep putting my wizard to sleep, and like I used shove a whole bunch just to wake him up.
So assist, it doesn't have the option to like help a person with their attack, right? You can't. That isn't really there.
Not that I know of,
Okay.
but I do know that is in the rule book because it gives you advantage, doesn't it? Or how does that?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was when it said assist. That was my immediate thought. Is like, oh, I could give her advantage. That's pretty sweet. And then I saw the option. I was like, not quite. That is still like the shove and throw. That is really cool. This feels very much I don't know, like the number of options and everything. It's kind of how I felt about Baldur's Gate 2 back in the day. Whereas, like, I can do whatever I could do in D&D, which was not true. But here, seeing, like, that I could shove or throw things or dash gives me a similar sort of, I can do whatever I could do in D&D.
Hurry, before they strike.
All right, so let's also dash so we can get ourselves in the game here. So this is one thing that I'm not sure why, but I need to click my character before that enables, which is weird to me, but I guess it's maybe just so you don't misclick or something. I'm not sure.
That is very cool. How that, like, the way that toggles works very nicely.
Before more troubles come.
And these two keep fighting each other. This music's terrible.
The music is I've said this before to you, but I stand by it. It is awesomely bad. It is I want to see them comment
that
on
body
the music. Either that they're gonna
super
like
glitching. Oh, there, it settled.
It's just twitchy.
It's just twitchy. But no, like, so far messing with this has been helpful for me, just like contextualizing attacks of opportunity and stuff like that. Not that it's a super complicated concept, but I easily forget it.
Oh yeah.
So this has like made me more mindful of it. All right, we're gonna run past him.
So will it tell you? So like you're doing that to run past. Would it tell you if you're running past would get close enough for him to get an attack on you?
I think so.
So you could like choose another path, for instance.
Yeah. Or at least, you know. Yeah,
Choose
I
not
mean,
to
you
do
could.
it.
Yeah, you could choose not to do it.
That's the type of thing that's much harder to eyeball without a grid.
Yeah. So like parts of this start to look a little more unfinished. But it's like there's just kind of music.
This music is so bad.
So I assume this is my
Grabbed
party.
onto I guess you grabbed onto the squiggly thing and then you hit a loading screen.
Yep. Like that he's just got a succubus on his back.
He's just chilling.
Yep. Some of the load times can be a little lengthy, but again, early access.
It's early access. It's not at all optimized. That being said, I can imagine putting this on my my laptop and trying to load this.
Yeah, and this is often of an SSD actually too.
That is actually fairly long for an SSD.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't expect the game to be finished, and I don't expect it to be optimized. The fact is, it's still running at a pretty good frame rate. It's doing good.
Yeah, I mean, it's 50. Oh, yeah.
Here it's getting a little bit trippy, but I feel like because it just loaded the area.
Yeah. All right, so now we're in the Forgotten Realms.
But yeah, the Forgotten Realms is not a utopian society where people of all races live together.
You don't have tieflings, drow, and goblins?
It's just... It's really doofy. I can't really get over how ridiculous that is.
Hey, things have changed in 5th edition, man. Things have changed. And you have giant tentacle ships falling from the air.
I mean, that I support. That's a change we can all get behind.
What's up?
You're singing.
Oh.
How you doing? Ah! That's a good scene.
Larian likes to have a little bit of a sense of humor.
I just like her looking at the mind flayer and being like, "Yeah, we're both chilling." That's how it goes.
I don't know what's up with that. Why
This?
she? Yeah.
So
what
I
saved
could
her?
give you an implication.
Okay.
So mind flayers, their abilities are psionic powers. So if she's got that whole mind flayer tadpole thing in her
okay.
brain, and it's protecting her by
Okay.
using psionics to levitate.
Gotcha. Because she's a host and it wants to preserve it.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
There we go. All right. So now we're on like normal beach with tentacles all around us.
The beach looks beautiful though.
Yeah, it's a little
With
framey.
all the debris. It's a little framey because
Yeah. Unfinished
it's almost
game.
like, yeah. And that is a hard thing to get the frame rate right though when it's having all the falling debris.
Oh yeah. And there's just no point in investing a bunch of time into it right now.
No, it's playable.
All right, so we got some supplies. We'll take all
You
that.
need to have someone open that up again.
What? That?
They need to have someone redo the item icons.
Oh, hold on. They're in my inventory.
Okay. Look at that apple.
What's wrong with that apple?
That was. It looks good in close up. From far away, it looks like I drew that apple. Like all of the cheese, the bread, or all of those look like fine close up. From a distance, they look so plastic.
True.
They look
They
really,
look waxy.
really phony. Yeah, they look.
We got a book of sea shanties.
I appreciate that.
I think we should take that.
We're definitely taking it.
All right, we got our shanties. Check this corpse. He's got a perfumed letter.
I
Read
guess
it.
we're gonna. I love you. Yeah, I said it. So let's do it. Let's go to Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate went through a lot of devastation at different points in those games, so I'm wondering what state it's in.
Don't be late. So, I believe that is a quest.
A plot line.
Bad luck.
So, like right now, our main goal is, yeah, just get rid of the slug in our brain.
So much blood. This is probably what I saw where I was like, that's just blood everywhere.
Quick save
What does
here.
it mean when it says waypoint discovered?
So there's fast travel points, so you
Oh.
can get around the map quickly.
I'm
So-
100% fine with that.
Yep. It's perfectly
Ross,
fine.
all right. Stop! Not another step or I'll. Wait. It's you.
Or I'll give you my
You're the
haircut.
one who tried to free me on the ship. At least you made the effort.
Suddenly, you see what she sees, feel what she feels,
So during cutscenes, we can just choose to attack if we want.
and a hint of gratitude.
What would you hit to do that?
This little button down here in the lower
You
left.
feel that?
I love it. That's
You've got
great.
the same thing I do. In your head.
So does that mean she's communicating through psionics, or that she's
It's
telepathic?
it's pretty
otherwise?
clear when there's psionics taking place because there are some
Okay.
conversation bits that do take place in that.
Yeah.
We could just lie to her. Yeah.
Nah, the mind swap.
It must be
She
that
seems
tadpole
not-
we put in our eyes.
But yeah, the
assume
whole-on
that's what
huge
caused
devil
our
tail
minds
and
to-
everything. They made tieflings be like,
These
they're
things
not
are going
like
to consume
slightly
us from the
devilish
inside and
heritage.
turn us into
They
mind
breathe
flayers.
fire.
I mean, it's a funny thing, like looking back at like Star Trek, for example, like original Star Trek's Klingons, they just like look like dudes with slightly darker skin and beards.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to show you some like 1994 tieflings, 1993 tieflings versus 2020, because you'll be like, that is not the same thing.
So since we have a fighter class, we get a special dialogue choice
Yep.
here.
Let's do it. We're special
I
that
can
way.
handle myself. but you're right. Time to try something else. I'm going to see what's at the top of this cliff. Hopefully there's no more of these creatures along the way.
I'm sure there will be. Should we ask her to join us?
Yeah.
Or just company for our
Do people
final
say no?
moments.
Do players ever go,
Whatever
nah?
lies ahead will be a little less daunting with
Do characters?
No, I
You can call
mean,
me
like,
Shadowheart.
people that play computer games like this and just, like, you're just not
And,
gonna...
and it's obvious that they can join your party
Yeah.
or go. No. So
I'm Edna, let's make
one of
haste.
the
Sorry.
one of the things I will say is, like, I think I sent you a list of all the Baldur's Gate 2 characters. There's like 30 playable characters.
Mhm,
In your first few hours, you're like, all right, I want to have a full party of 6.
mhm.
Later on, you're like, you're the 4th mage and you're evil. No, I don't want you to join. Screw that. Like,
That's
that
fair.
has nothing to do with my party.
Yeah,
So it gets a lot easier to do that when there's more than,
Yeah.
6 playable characters. And you're like, well, there's a max of 6 in my party. I'm going with that.
yep. It's a max of 4 in this, to my knowledge.
Then you'll probably want to get that before you just tell anyone go away.
Yep. All right.
Lead the way.
So there's a little glitch.
I saw it, but I didn't care.
Yeah. Oh, articles called that out.
Seriously?
Yeah. No, the Kotaku thing was very... At moments in cutscenes, you'd see duplicates and, like, being pretty shitty about it.
Things.
What? Like... Yeah, I just...
All right.
I guess I just find myself baffled by
Stay
by
back. One
those
strike could be used.
articles.
Yeah, same. All right, so
I
we've got...
can't really put myself in those shoes. Ooh. So she's a mage.
So, well, this is our skills. We actually hadn't looked at them. So we've got this ability,
Not useful here.
not useful here, and we've got second wind,
That's kind of cool.
and that's a
but
one a
not-
day kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then we've got a scroll. So let's just go up and
All right,
we can
we're gonna
can-
smack them.
cleave this.
Oh, there isn't
I
something
messed
to
that up.
cleave into.
Okay, I
So
messed that up,
cleave,
Yeah.
Yeah. So cleave is to go. There's more than one enemy.
Okay.
So you want it to hit through the one into the next one.
Gotcha.
Not gonna do much otherwise.
Yeah. She's got a whole bunch of shit, like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So at any rate, we're gonna...
That's the stuff where I just knowing the D&D terminology, it's like, oh, well, I know that's what cleave always means. Yeah.
Ooh, that
It's just-
hurt.
Just easier. Yeah.
That really hurt.
Well,
Ooh. All right, let's
probably want to get your fighter in there and let her, do that, and then
Yeah.
let her heal once the intellect of is dead.
Nope. Okay. Trying to protect yourself. That's a one. Okay.
No, it's not going to do anything.
Yep. So
She probably
She
shouldn't
can-
cast a spell because she will be attacked.
will she? Okay.
Well, we'll find out. Let's see.
All right. Let's
do
find
it.
out for science.
Take you.
She was not.
Nope. Cool.
So now she.
Because she's threatened. Normally, if you're casting a spell
Okay.
while in a threatened square, then you should get an attack of opportunity on you.
Hmm.
But you know what? I'll take it.
That might be in one of the higher difficulty levels. I know sometimes these games do that, but that's a good thing to note.
That could well be true.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I actually haven't looked at anything about the difficulty stuff, so. But that is good to know that you could, kill that thing first and then. Ooh.
Yeah. I am way curious actually about that. But yeah, normally it's like healing while you're in hand-to-hand combat through a spell is not a smart idea.
This is actually kind of in rough shape here.
Yeah.
Normally I'm shooting these things with arrows.
So
before they
here a cleave would make sense.
Yeah, but I've
if you have that
already burned it.
As like if you've had
I need
that available.
I need a short rest before I can cleave.
Gotcha. But
So-
yeah, since they're lined up like that, it would be the perfect time.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bad time to have that happen. Yeah,
So was shove your move action?
it's a bonus action.
Oh.
Yeah.
You can do that as a bonus action every round?
Yep.
That's so good. That is really, really good.
Let's see. Let's heal up.
Take your
Gosh, these things are taking a beating. Oh, so she's down. That's no good.
I don't think she's wearing any armor, or at least not very good armor. After this battle, I would love to see like your stats page.
Okay. Sounds good. Actually, can I? I think our time is better used here than doing that, though. So let's not do that.
Yeah.
I think if we... I'm just trying to see like the pathfinding here. Here we go. Nope. No, we don't want to shove her. Oh, that's a full action to pick her up. Okay, my bad. So never mind on that.
I would probably devour that intellect before you help her.
Yeah. Go away. He can just run right back up to me, but you know.
Oh yeah. So there are some things where they do more damage on a charging attack, so you specifically wouldn't
want to do that.
And other things with the opposite. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Again, it's hard for me to tell how modular this is, but
Yeah.
like if I'm playing normal D&D, it's like do not push the Minotaur away.
All right. Oh, your character in your party's dead, so she didn't.
So, ouch.
So we got a scroll though we can use. Although this was glitching out. There we go. There we go. She back.
Probably want to do a rest
Yeah, so we can
whenever you can.
go to camp and end the day, or we could take a short
Alright.
rest.
Probably go to camp, honestly. You took quite a beating there.
Mm-hmm. So we go to camp. We can chat a bit.
This seems as good a place as any to make camp.
So she talked there,
Yeah.
which is random, but
And then she got ignored.
she's not a very nice lady. All right, so you wanted to see character sheets.
Yeah.
Let's see. So that's inventory, character panels. There's a million tab here. Toggle character sheet. Here we go.
There we go. It's one of those things where it's like super important, actually.
Yeah. It looks like we can expand these.
Cool. So you see what it's giving you bonuses to exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You can see here.
So if I want to look at what armor she's wearing and how that's affecting it. So scale mount. Cool. It has all the different slots.
Examine. So it gives us a bit more detail. The orientation of that's a little weird. Okay.
That seems like a bug. Oh, game's broken.
Game's broken. Get my Steam refund. So it tells you your...
Can you get a Steam refund on an early access thing that you say is broken?
I think so, as long as you've played less than 2 hours of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that makes sense, except for the, like, I've played 10 hours of it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you can see your stuff. We can see what she's got. See, she's wearing...
Does it say the weight of your inventory?
So
Okay, I see the 15 out of 70. Never. I see that at the bottom.
Okay. Yep. Then you can see that weighs 9 down on the corner of that little plane.
Oh, they were beating her up and she's got a chain shirt? That's not bad.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all.
Those things are pretty mean, though. But yeah. Got all our inventory. Can sort it all. What else do we have? We have our map. Oop, that's low res right now.
Having the ability to quick sort the types is nice.
Got our quests. Whatever that is isn't showing up yet.
Oh, 2 other party members.
Yep.
We've only got those ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see how much gold their entire party has. So let me show you a few other things here, and then we can
It has
probably wrap this
built-in
up.
inspiration points. I love it.
It does have inspiration points. I meant to mention that.
That's crazy. I wonder. That seems hard to make work, but I'm interested.
I'm not sure how it works, but why am I?
Have you earned an inspiration point yet?
I have. I'm not sure how you earn it, but I did earn it, and I was able to. I think that's why I was able to re-roll a thing.
It should have been, but I was wondering, like, if you're in the middle of battle, can you be like, no, re-roll that attack?
I didn't re-roll an attack, but I re-rolled a persuasion check. Yeah.
No.
You're not sure what is a good idea. Don't fret. We all need some rest.
Fine, but not for too long. Each hour that passes,
I'm just gonna
the thing inside us grows.
skip through some of this.
Yeah.
Let's rest. So I can just show off a few more things before we wrap up here. Sleep. All right. Okay, and we end up back here, which is kind of funny, but you know, whatever. That may or may not be final. So I'm not sure what.
Why are we back here? Wait, exactly the same place?
Exactly the same place. I'm also not sure. So when you take a short rest, it grays it out, and I'm not sure if you need to take a long rest before you can get another short rest.
It should be. I think if I can remember, it's something like you can do 2 encounters.
Okay.
And then take another short rest. It's something like that.
Okay. So
there's a number of encounters.
Okay. If I take our character portraits down here in the left, I can separate them apart. You can actually see that chain break. So now the party's split. So I can actually completely separate myself from her. And what I can actually do is, in a circumstance, actually, you know what? We can try it here. Let's put the party.
If there's anything I've learned from D&D, it's always split the party.
Mm-hmm.
That's never resulted in every single party death I've ever had.
Yeah, no. Okay, I think there's an encounter up here that we can play with a little bit. Not sure if they're smart enough to avoid the flames. It looks like they are, which is nice. Nope. Okay.
Did you take damage from it?
Nope.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
Not sure, but we'd better find out.
So let's split the party here. So what I can do is have her walk up, and I'm going to show something here.
Talk to so much blood guy.
Okay, so she's talking to these people. We'll get to the dialogue.
It's the creature from the ship.
I can switch characters. They're engaged in a conversation, and I can still run around and do stuff.
Awesome. That's really cool.
So
that is actually maybe the coolest single feature I've seen in the game.
Divinity has that too, so what you can actually do is like distract,
engage them, and then go behind them and pickpocket at them, or stab them in the back.
So let's see if this breaks this conversation. So basically, they're all under the control of the Mind Flayer right now, and they're about to go. I can
see the psionic things there. Yeah. So go stab the Mind Flayer.
Okay, and they just ran off.
Got a natural 20 on that.
I did. That's a good use of it.
You leveled up. That was. Now I gotta say that is totally sweet.
Because normally that usually descends into a combat scenario, And that worked out well.
That was really cool. Yeah.
So
I give mad props to the developer for making that a part of the game, and also quality use, Blake.
Thank you.
The talking to them and stabbing him in the back.
Thank you. I'm learning. Level up stuff. We can pick our passives, I guess. That's one thing I still like know next to nothing about.
Fighter, we'll go with protection. We're gonna tank her up.
Yep. And her stuff's pretty simple, except. But here, 1 second here. I'll be right back. Okay, back. Sorry about that. Okay, Spud's helping Nicole craft. So, and then yeah, we can level her up too, and this gets a few more options as far as you can customize your prepared spells.
And I mean, presumably you can change that whenever you rest.
Yeah. Yep.
Turn undead. That's cool.
Invoke.
I love you get a lot of details about us, like 9 meters. So you get, it's a very nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's
so maybe you see how that one says concentration required.
Mm-hmm.
It may be that they're in this they only get attack of opportunity if it requires concentration.
Okay, that makes sense.
Concentration means it takes a full round for that to happen, and you're concentrating until then.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. We should look at the difficult, so let's just accept that.
Yeah. Yeah, I am curious, like, what the difficulties change.
Let's see.
Mind flayers get more hit points.
Gameplay.
That's the only difference.
Does this actually even have the difficulty stuff yet? It may not. Oh, here we go. Unit system. Imperial. There we go. We fixed
Oh, there we go. I just improved your game by
Piece highlights. I don't know what that means.
I have no idea.
Lock mouse to window.
Oh, how it highlights when it's in combat versus tactical versus when you're just running around.
Gotcha. I'll remove spells. Auto add. Twitch integration.
Booyah.
I have it turned on. I don't. Oh, you know what? It's not actually checked there. Okay. Interesting.
That could have been the problem the whole time.
Right. I have it turned on when I was streaming, but who knows? LAN connection. Okay, so I'm not seeing actually anything.
I'm not seeing it, but I will be curious to see how they do that.
Display mode. Fake full screen.
Fake full screen is the best full screen.
I like, most games call it borderless windowed, but they call it fake full screen, and I prefer that.
I think that's a quality.
Mm-hmm. Sound quality. No. I find that amazing. I don't know why. I guess if you don't have a lot of RAM or something. I don't know. But there are options.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that is Baldur's Gate 3, I think.
I mean, it's like very cool intro. And the question is kind of like, yeah, can it maintain it? But I love the en media res start. You know, you're just in this crazy thing. You don't really know. And I think that it actually might be cooler for people like you who aren't as much like, that's the Mind Flayer and the Mind Flayer ship with the Githzeri and everything. It's a very cool, disorienting opening.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Gale.
This is Gale.
Well met.
Well met.
Oh, what's this?
Click it.
Doesn't do anything. I've never noticed that before.
Well, you have to say well met because he said well met too.
Yeah.
traumatizing experience, if an instructive one.
That's weird. I don't know what that is.
That seems like a bug.
I've never noticed it before. I'm not quite in the mood for it.
Yourself, I merely sought to share the wonder of the experience. Nautiloid.
So this has the whole so-and-so liked that, so-and-so didn't like that thing.
Gift pack's greatest prize.
Um,
Not to mention,
although it kind of makes me want
like a
the
machine and a blackboard.
Walking Dead so-and-so noticed that, because I still love that as a mechanic.
So-and-so noticed you didn't give him the food.
Right.
He'll remember that.
Of a parasite.
All right, I want to see if we can get to one.
Healer either. How about we embark on the quest for
I want to know what the deal with that weird icon is, though.
Looks like
Yeah.
you keep a woman with
Is it indeed? We'll see.
She's not friendly. All right, and then we can level him up, so he comes in at level 1. So we can pick his subclass.
Evocation. We're gonna blow shit up.
I just want to push a thing off a thing. That's all I'm hoping to do here.
Living the dream.
Yep. The push animation's a little extreme at the moment, and maybe they'll keep
I
it that.
thought it was awesomely extreme. It was like, when you push, you push.
You push. Okay, that's not the path. I don't want to engage that
It
conversation.
was like, momentumly, it was less of a push and more of a, like, if you picked up and threw that person.
So we're going to sneak, which has some fun animation to it.
Oh, this person's gonna get so pushed.
Yep. So first we're going to cut him. So we messed him up good.
Do you have to cut him?
No, you don't have to. But makes it more likely that he's going to die here. There we go. And he's dead. And then we can do this. Let's see. Hopefully I can
It's
line.
just good times.
Hopefully I can line up the shot.
I mean, you
Oops.
might want to ultimately make a rogue build.
Rogue could be fun.
Seeing how you enjoy that sort of thing, I feel like you could have a lot of fun with that. Alternately, there's a lot of spells that are good. If you go with certain mage builds, obviously not evocation or abjuration, but you can do mage builds where you're all about casting spells for stealth. Going sneaking around.
That could be fun. I just shot that thing and it fell down
That
there
was
and
cool.
killed that dude. So, and that actually
I
opens a
didn't
path.
fully understand why it fell, but cool.
I shot an arrow at it. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was apparently an amazing shot.
So like I can demonstrate one more thing here and then we can call it good. Actually, we have to finish this combat encounter before we demonstrate that. So maybe we won't do that. Maybe we'll call this good at this point because this mage is going to mess with us and she's a real pain.
Okay, can you save in the middle of combat?
Yeah. The only
great.
thing you can't save during right now is conversations, and that's only because it's in early access, it sounds like. So if you really want to save
given
some,
the way that you could just break out into combat, I'm guessing that they will change that.
yeah. Yep.
Which was cool. I have a lot more appreciation for saving at any time you want as an adult.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, not sometimes you just do boneheaded things like accidentally end your turn by hitting spacebar like that, and then she puts you to sleep.
Oh,
So
take a full round, aid, get her up.
yep.
You're fine. You're fine.
Yep. All right, so let's call that good. But thanks for hanging out
session.
on that. Yeah, it's a fun game. I'm barely further than this just in my own stuff because I'm mostly just kind of playing around with things and messing with stuff. But I've been having a ton of fun with it. I'm not sure how much I'll keep playing since it isn't a finished game, but I do like it for just learning and internalizing stuff, and it has been good for that. So. And it's been cool doing this and like
Excellent.
going through it and seeing your thoughts on it. So.
I mean, ultimately, an entire quote-unquote act is available.
Mhm.
So it's like, maybe at some point you're just like, well, get through the first act.
Yep. Get the slug removed from my eye, and we'll call it good. So,
All right. Have a good one.
You too. Have a good one.